Hello guys, today I'll be looking at another common issue on the newer Volvo VEA diesel engines, which to be fair isn't anything you can't live with, but if you're a guy like me who doesn't want to see any oil stains on their driveway, then you definitely want to watch this video. So we start with disconnecting the PCV hose. Next, for disconnecting the intake pipe, we loosen this hose clamp and remove the 3 screws holding it, which are located with arrows. The third one was quite a tricky one as the access to it is restricted, so get an extension bar on your ratchet and try to remain patient. The final step of removing the intake pipe is to disconnect it directly from the turbo. In order to get there, we'll remove the arch cover, which is held by a couple of T25 torque screws. What's annoying is that on some of the D4 models there will be a separate clamp which will disconnect this pipe one stage before the turbo with an access from under the bonnet, but unfortunately on this V40 there's only that one which is coupled directly to the turbo. So that's how to release the clamp. Now we can move on to disconnecting the peripherals which stay on the way. To disconnect the fuel lines, you need size 70 wrench. Next, we disconnect the actuator vacuums and mark the lines so that we won't confuse them later. Next, to remove the return fuel lines, you need to press onto the metal pin to unlock them. Now we can remove the fuel ray with size 8 wrench, so at this point you'll be able to appreciate why we had to disconnect the intake pipe. The two bolts holding it are about 8 cm long, so taking them out is mission impossible unless you make space by moving a bit the intake pipe. To remove the injector bolts, that would be T40 Torx bit. The injector extraction is done with a slide hammer, which is a whole set, but ideally what you need is just the socket size for the Delphi injectors. Now, as there is nothing on the way, we can finally remove the valve cover. You want to make sure the surface is clean ideally before placing the new gasket. In my case, I've purchased a brand new valve cover, which to be fair I later realized it may have not been necessary but could have gotten away with just a gasket. The thing with this rocker cover design is that we have the PCV system integrated into them, so that was the main reason I wanted to replace the whole cover. However, by later checking on the PCV airflow out of the PCV holes, it seemed to be just slightly better than with the old cover, which to be fair could have been just me trying to make myself feel better for spending the money for the cover. Anyway, we can now put the new cover on and just hand tie the bolts. The rocker cover bolts need to be torqued to 10 Newton meters. You can pause the video to make a note of the actual tightening order. Next, we need to put the injectors and the fuel lines back together. There is a separate detailed video of the injector cleaning, which you can watch by clicking on the pop-up link on the screen. The video will cover part numbers and how to torque with angle, so I would encourage you to watch it. Having done all of the injectors, we can now put everything back together. So that's how you can change your Volvo valve cover. Thank you for watching, and make sure you like and subscribe for more future Volvo do-it-yourself videos. See you next time.